All right, here we go. All right, so, we use a graphing calculator to figure out limits, right? And we went over like some really easy examples on how to graph parabolas, linear, and then other functions, rational functions, which is a function with fractions, right? But there should be a shortcut, right? There should be some type of shortcut. And I'm going to teach you a couple of shortcuts today. These are the easier ones, all right? You only have a few questions, but I'm giving you only a few questions today because you need to fill out those forms, all right? Make sure you get it signed, and I'll show you how to sign it later on, so on. Okay, so it is called the direct substitution, all right? It says after school, but ignore this, okay? So it is direct substitution. So I'm going to show you how to use a direct substitution. I'm going to use number 1. I'll do that this one, all right? So you have a limit, x goes to 0. You can graph this, which is a linear, and check to see what number it gets to, or you can use a table to figure out numbers that are close to 0, which are like 0.00009 and negative 0.00009. I'm telling you on the AP exam, we don't have time to put in these values. Your answer has to come out really quickly. So hold on a second, let me pause this, okay? Hold on. All right, here we go. So, there should be a faster way. What's a faster way than using a graph and punching it into your graphing calculator? It is direct substitution. You just need to think of 0 and you plug it in. So this is limit 3 times 0 plus 8. Do you see that? We just plug it in and we can ignore the limit and then we can just calculate this. So 3 times 0 plus 8 will give you 8, and this will be your limit. And that's your answer. How easy is that, right? You don't have to graph them anymore. You see it? So those answers come out really quickly. Now, you can do number 2 later on. However, sometimes direct substitution doesn't always work out. Okay, that's why during the summertime, we learn how to factor. You need to learn how to simplify. So if your direct substitution, it doesn't work, then you need to think of some other way. And the other method is called simplifying. This is called simplifying. Basically, simplifying is, you're solving it algebraically, you factor it out, you cancel the things that you need. Because if you use direct substitution, look at this, I'm going to use this one right here. This is limit x goes to 6, x squared minus 36 over x minus 6. All right, pay attention to me, please. All right, if I use direct substitution, I'm taking 6, I'm going to plug it into x and x. Do you see it? So this is 6 to the second power minus 36 over 6 minus 6. All right, so what do we get on the top? Isn't it 36 minus 36?
Yeah.
Isn't it 6 minus 6? So what do we get on the top? 0, and then what do we get on the bottom? 0. Do you know the answer of 0 over 0? It is undefined. 0 over 0 is undefined. It's not 0, guys. So when we say undefined, we have no idea what that value is. So what does that mean? We have no limit? Your limit doesn't exist? No, that's not the case. It just means that you have an open circle. You know how sometimes we have an open circle, but we still have a limit? We get closer and closer and closer, and we try to find the value that is close to wherever that open circle might be. All right? So that's not the case. So how do I solve this? Let me erase all this because this was all. There you go. I like technology when it really works out well. Okay, sometimes it doesn't always work. All right. There we go. All right, so now, let me redo this problem again. It doesn't mean that we don't have a limit. We do have a limit. We just need to learn how to simplify this. So during the summertime, we learned how to factor. Is this factorable?
Yes.
Yeah, I hope everyone in this class will say yes. How do we factor x squared minus 36? This is factorable. What is x squared minus 36?
X minus 6.
X minus 6 and
X minus 6.
x plus 6. All right, x minus 6 and x plus 6 all over x minus 6. Isn't that it? And then we cancel out x minus 6 and x minus 6, so we have a limit. X goes to 6. You have x plus 6. After you simplify, all right, this is a lot easier to look at than what we started with. You see that? This is way easier, right? Now we can use direct substitution into that expression we have. You plug it in, 6 plus 6, because this will be 6, right? Will give you 12, will be your limit. Okay, how many of you guys follow what I just did? Okay, somewhat. All right. Now, I don't know if you guys remember again. I told you during the summertime, and then when we took a day to review. Look at this right here. What is that representing? Is that factorable?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. What is that called?
Cube.
Difference of cubes. And then remember the acronym we use?
So.
SOAP, right? And then you factor it out. And you're going to see a whole bunch of those things on the AP exam, and you need to know how to factor those things. Does that make sense? And most likely, this one doesn't work as a direct substitution. Can someone tell me why we cannot use direct substitution from the beginning? Yeah, why?
Because you're going to end up dividing by 0.
Yeah, you're going to get divided by 0 in the denominator, which is undefined. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Most likely, same thing with a lot of these things, so you need to know how to factor them. Okay? Like, some of them are a little bit tricky because, like, you don't know if you can factor this or not. You can. Okay, let me erase this. Okay, so anybody know how to factor x minus 9 if you have square root of x minus 3?
Yeah.
Sorry, hold on, it's minus, I put plus. Alright, how do you factor x minus 9 if you have square root of x minus 3 on the top? Because if you don't factor this, I don't know if I can just use, maybe I can just use direct substitution for that, okay? But if this was 9, then it would be bad, right? But how do you factor this if you wanted to? Anybody have an idea?
Square both the top
Yeah,
and the
square root of x minus 3. No, you don't use square root both top and bottom. Square root of x plus 3. Do you see the difference of two squares like that? But for this particular problem, I think it will be okay because this is 4, not 9. Okay, so you can use direct substitution. All right, so I'm going to ask you to kind of work on these questions for now. I'm going to give you about maybe 15 to 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. And do you see those answers below? All right, check to see if your answers are correct, okay? And let me pause this for a little bit. All right, so I gave you about 10 minutes to kind of work on those questions. Most of you guys did very well. Now we're going to go to your Remind, and I'm going to have you open up your Remind, one of the Word documents. And either you can send it through the email, but the first one should have been the non-credit fall 2021. All right, so it should look like this. You have to type it in black color. I don't want you to use any other color, okay? You must use a black. All right, so it looks like this. And make sure it says fall 2021, and you should have that 15484 on the top. Do not fill out student ID at this time. Okay, you don't have to fill out the student ID. All right, hold on. Let me make it a little bit smaller. All right, so Let's see if we can able to print this out over here. Go ahead and type your last name. If you want to use, all right, there you go. And then, oh, okay, I think you have to use space. All right, go ahead and do that. Question?
Yeah, it's not taking me to this form.
It doesn't?
No.
Okay, so anyone else having the same issue, not taking it to the form? Okay, hold on a second, all right? Let me pause it. Okay, so I sent out a PDF file as well, so if the PDF file doesn't work, then I understand. If the Word document doesn't work either, I understand. But if you can use your phone to start typing, but you need to use, you have to use a black color to type your name and everything else. Only part you can scribble or write is your signature part, okay? Now, if you can't figure it out by today, then we'll try to figure it out tomorrow and next day. But it's, I just need to submit this by next week. So looks like some of you guys are having issues. We need to figure out what we need to do. But if you know how to do this, then what I want you to do is, if you can't fill this out, go ahead and fill them out as much as you can. All right, so you want to fill this out as much as you can, and this one you can probably use, like if you have a Word document there someplace, you can go ahead and draw using this pen, and then you can put a check mark anywhere like let's see, like that, okay? Check marks are okay if you want to put check marks like this. Same thing, should be no, and yes, okay? All right, and then signature, and then date, you have to type it. Birthday, everything else should be typed. Only these things should be in like pen, if you can. All right? And you don't need to fill this one out right here. Do not put our student ID. All right, make sure your address is same thing as a school address. And don't worry, they're not going to check up on your address or anything like that, okay? All right, so you have 3 of these things. If you know how to do it, then you need to fill out all 3 of them. You need to fill out fall, winter, and summer one, okay? I asked why summer, because we're starting in August. It's considered as a summer. I don't ask me why, okay? So anyways, you have 3 forms of non-credit, which is this one. All right, if you can fill them out, go ahead and fill them out on your own time. I'm gonna delete, don't save.
I just copied the link and
All right, the next one should be this one. It says Warren K-12, Monday, Wednesday class fall. Your Word document kind of looks like this. And you have 3 of these things. And if you have a better computer at home, of your own or maybe your family, maybe you can use your own laptop and then start opening this up if you have a Word document program. All right, so this is the same thing. Everything should be typed. Okay, and if you have a Word document, only part you should sign is right here. Right there. And then date should be printed. And then parents' name should be printed. And then you can sign, you have your parents sign it over here. Okay, now, again, you can actually type it, but you can use different type of font. It looks like the signature font, you can use any one of them. As long as it looks like one of those signature font, you can have them typed. It doesn't matter if you write it or you can type it out, as long as it looks like a signature. And then make sure you put a date right here as well. Alright, do not touch anything else, okay? And that should be good. Only part you need to fill out will be this one right here. Okay? And again, you have 3 of those things. Alright, you have summer, fall, and winter. Make sure you kind of do it over again if you can. Alright? So go ahead and work on those. And let me send you the PDF file of other ones. Okay? Okay, remember I sent you a Word document in the beginning. You have a total of 6. And I'm also sending you PDF files. You should have a total of 6. You only need to fill out 6 of them, either in Word document or in PDF file. You don't have to do all of that, okay?